Have you ever been unsure about what to do in a difficult situation? I have. How do you choose between options that seem to lead you in a totally different direction, and neither direction seems like it leads you to a place you want to be? Today, I've been thinking about how often I doubt myself or lack confidence when making a difficult decision. My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Last time, we looked at being blown about by the wind. Do you remember? I was flying with a friend, and although we were nicely on track, the wind was having a say in the direction the nose of the plane was pointing. Wind affects all sorts of things, doesn't it? Before I had a job working in the airline industry, I don't think I thought much about wind high up affecting aircraft. I was much more familiar with the same thing happening out at sea with ships. Have you ever seen this picture before? If you're a regular viewer, you'll know that little things change each week around here, and this picture comes and goes from time to time. In the summer, I have it in front of my fire there beside me to remind me it won't always be that hot and winter is coming. I love the sea. I'm not really a beach person, but I do love the water and enjoy watching the tide come and go. I love to see the wind too, both through the trees like it blew last week and out at sea in the sails of a boat. But when the wind and waves get together, you really need to be on your guard. When a storm hits at sea, that is not the time to be thinking about what to do. No, you need to know what to do. That decision has to be made long in advance so that when difficult times do come, the actions you take are automatic. You do things almost without thinking. Things that need to be tied down need to already be secure, and the direction you sail must already be plotted. There's no time to sit around planning. Long ago, when I had more energy than sense, I had 2 jobs, and at the same time I was attending college. After a day studying at college, I would ride to Dover on the train in time to go to work as a policeman in the evening on the late shift. The train ride was lovely. Those electric trains, just like this one, seemed remarkably comfortable to me in those days, and I would often curl up and fall fast asleep as the train rocked and rolled through the English countryside after a long day at college in Canterbury. What could possibly go wrong? One evening, I caught the train and settled down for a nice nap, knowing I'd be working long into the night once the journey was over. Traveling every day over the same route meant that I knew every curve, every tunnel, every stop. But on this day, I was tired. Sleep came easily and quickly. When I woke up, something didn't seem right. And I'm sure you know what's coming. The train seemed to be turning the wrong way. Outside, there were no streetlights along the road beside the track. In fact, the road that should have been there wasn't. Where were we? Of course, I slept through my stop. Actually, 3 stops. My train was heading into Ramsgate, several stops down the line. Certainly not where I needed to be. That evening, of course, I only just made it in time to work. I had to catch a train back in the other direction. What was the smart thing to do? I couldn't keep up this pace and schedule for long, even if I managed to wake up in time to get off the train at the right station. Obviously, I was burning the candle at both ends, as we say in England. But was it wise? Would my studies suffer? Could I really do two jobs at the same time? I had decisions to make. Of course, I could put things off, but not for long. Something had to change. When I have questions like that, who do I turn to? I couldn't really quit college, but earning enough money was important too. Priorities need to be set, and this was going to be painful no matter which direction I chose. On the other hand, if you are going to fall asleep travelling to work, far better to do it on a train than while driving. In the end, I had to decide what it was I wanted to do. Did I want to continue my studies and complete that technical degree, or did I want to pursue a career in the police force? I couldn't do three things at the same time. Somewhere in a day I needed to sleep and eat too. Who should I talk to, I wondered. There were friends in each setting, and no matter who I decided to ask, I could probably guess what they would say before I asked. At the police station, I would be offered more shifts and a career path, and I really enjoyed being a policeman. At my engineering job, there were prospects of promotion if I stayed and had a degree. College would be over as soon as I graduated, so the advice there would be, of course, to stick at it. And I really enjoyed electronic engineering. A few days later, I noticed a friend asking for advice with a technical problem. First he went to one person, then another. He asked me what I thought the solution was before asking yet another friend. It was the same question asked over and over. There were two clear solutions to his problem. The right solution was time-consuming and costly, but there was a second solution that would sort of kind of work, maybe. What should he do? It seemed my friend had already decided to take the simpler path, but knew he really should take the time to do the job the right way. But I think he was looking for someone to agree with his poor decision making. Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who asks everybody they can for advice until they find the person who gives them the advice that they actually want to hear. I often wonder about people who do that. If you've really already made up your mind to do something, why do you need to have someone else validate your mistake? Are you looking for someone to share the blame? Especially when your decision turns out to be the wrong one. If you know what you're about to do is wrong, don't do it. And if you believe what you're about to do is right, have the courage to stand by your decision and give it the effort it deserves. James had something to say about this. He was clear that asking the right person was key. Going around asking for advice until you hear what you want to hear is just being dishonest with yourself. The problem is that sometimes we already know the right answer, but just don't want to hear it. James said, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking, but when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. The wisdom of God. I must say that some of the decisions I've made don't seem like that is who I was listening to when I made them. If you're a regular viewer, you'll have heard me talking about doing the right thing first time, every time. I found it's just a lot easier not to have to go back and fix mistakes I make, and so getting things right in the first place is so much more efficient, quite apart from anything else. That's all well and good, but the question still remains, how do we know that the thing is right? How do we know what the right thing actually is? Now, far from being confident I can get it right every time, I've learned that a way to do that with confidence is to be faithful with the little decisions, the things that don't seem to matter, that, well, actually do. Instead of saying to yourself, nobody will ever notice, or it's just this once, be true to what you know to be right. Faithfulness in little things, making wise decisions all of the time, makes it so much easier when the big decisions come along. A habit has already been formed, and the step from the things you've already mastered to the really big thing, no matter what it is, just seems a lot more manageable. Asking God for wisdom, as James put it, might be less necessary when you regularly exercise the wisdom you've already developed. Just like most people, I sometimes lack confidence in myself to make decisions. I think a lot, and then I think some more, and yes, talk to God about whatever it is. But I've learned long ago not to talk to too many people about those same things. Are they truly more capable of making decisions about my life than I am? Especially when I've already asked God about it. If God is real and I'm listening to what He has to say, and I'm honestly trying to follow His way of doing things, do I really think asking my crazy friends will get me a better answer? No, of course not. These days, I look back on the days I rode trains to college with rather fond memories. Maybe one day I'll spend some time riding the same route to see if I can still fall asleep in Dover and wake up in Ramsgate. As we face the future and as ever have decisions to make, both big and small, be careful who you ask for advice. Until next time, goodbye.